everyone. Welcome you all for the open house interactive meeting on GST with Principal Chief Commissioner CGST and Customs Hyderabad Zone and Principal Secretary to Revenue, CT and Excise and Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Government of Telangana. I now request Srimati Usha Rani, who is Chartered Accountant, Cost Accountant in practice, for further proceedings.
Thank you. A warm welcome to you all. Please play the film. FTCC film. Please watch.
1917, the year when a dedicated organization, the Deccan Chamber of Commerce, was formed to encourage trade and commerce activities. The historical journey of the organization has witnessed great transformation as per the changing needs of the industry and businesses. The Federation of Telangana Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FTCCI, a legacy of excellence, voice of the industry, representing interests of over 25,000 businesses of all sizes, sectors and regions, is empowering industry and trade of Telangana state. A world leader in pharma, a global hub for vaccine, home to all major MNCs, leader in IT exports, and emerging first stop of India. FTCCI advocates a pro-business environment, caters to the needs of MSMEs, budding entrepreneurs, and traders through its advisory services in taxation, market information, industry-related issues, B2B connection. The Chamber has its nominees in the state-level advisory committees to help drive business productivity. FTCCI aids in providing certificate of origin for exporters, issues visa recommendation for business travels. The Federation imparts job skills through its dedicated skill center. It has adopted 14 government ITIs to improve the employability of students. With a uniquely global perspective, the FTCCI events reach a highly engaged audience, policymakers and stakeholders aiming towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Come and be a part of this dynamic and proactive organization. Together, let's realize the vision for a progressive future.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed colleagues. We are honored to have with us several distinct personalities today have graciously joined us for this event. At this moment, it's my privilege to invite FTCC office bearers, Shri Suresh Kumar Singhal, President of FTCCI. Please hands together and welcome him. Please, sir. Shri R. Ravi Kumar, Senior Vice President of FTCCI. Shri Krishna Kumar Maheshwari, Vice President of FTCCI. I would like to invite C.A. Muhammad Irshad Ahmad, Chairperson of our GST and Customs Committee of FTCCI. Please welcome, sir. I consider it a great honor to invite our esteemed guest on the dais, Shri Sandeep Prakash IRS, Principal Chief Commissioner, CGST and Customs, Hyderabad Zone. Please, sir. Shri Syed Ali Murtaz Rizvi, IAS, Principal Secretary to Revenue, Customs and Excise, and Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Government of Telangana. And today's speaker, Shri Sahil Inamdar, IRS, Additional Commissioner of Central Tax, Mechal, GST Commissionerate. To proceed further, for lighting of lamp, For lighting of lamp.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः
To show our gratitude for your valuable present and support, it gives us great pleasure to present you with this token of appreciation, a beautiful dry food baskets. This a small gesture is a symbol of our respect and warm regards. Presentation of dry fruit baskets to chief guest by FTCC office bearers. I would like to invite Shri Suresh Kumar Singhal for welcome address. President of FTC, please loud of applause.
It gives me an immense pleasure to extend my warm welcome to our chief guests, Shri Sandeep Prakash ji, IRS Principal Chief Commissioner CGST and Customs, Hyderabad Zone. Shri Syed Ali Murtaza Rizvi ji, IAS Principal Secretary to Revenue, City and Excise and Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Government of Telangana. Speaker Shri Sahil ji Inamdar, IRS Additional Commissioner of Central Tax, Midchal GST Commissionerate. Other officials, professionals, institutes, office bearers, fellow association office bearers, and my colleagues. Shri R. Ravi Kumar ji, Senior Vice President FTCCI, Shri Krishna Kumar Maheshwari ji, Vice President FTCCI, CA Mohammad Irshad Ahmed ji, Chair GST and Customs Committee FTCCI. Shri S. Trimalekaru ji, Advisor GST and Customs Committee FTCCI. Distinguished delegates, we are all aware that the introduction of GST marked simplification of Indian tax system by bringing most of the indirect taxes into one tax system. FTCCI is in forefront in disseminating the knowledge on the changes that are made to GST law from time to time by conducting various seminars and interactive sessions, inviting the concerned officials. I thank the tax officials for supporting FTCCI in making the programs successful, benefiting trade and industry. The GST and Customs Committee of FTCCI is continuously and consistently submitting representations, recommendations on various GST issues to central and state finance ministries, Principal Chief Commissioner of Central Tax and Commissioner of State Tax, other concerned officials. In this regard, I like to share with you all that the support extended by the Shri Sandeep Prakash ji sir in taking up our representations at central council level and getting relaxations to steel sector and on hostel accommodations rents. Sir, thank you very much, sir. Please give a big round of applause for this support. On this occasion, I would like to bring to the notice of the Shri Rijvi ji, sir, to look into long pending demands from small traders in Telangana to increase the threshold limit of registration from rupees 20 lakhs to rupees 40 lakhs for goods. Sir, as per the GST Council recommendation, the limit was increased to rupees 40 lakhs by all states in India except Telangana. Increasing the GST threshold limit could stimulate small businesses by reducing compliance burdens. When we met Honorable Chief Minister Shri Revanth Reddy ji, earlier, Federation was asked to submit the proposals related to GST. We are in the process of discussion with the concerned officials for finalization. Sir, before presenting it to Honorable Chief Minister, we would like to present it to you and request to give us time for the same along with your department officials. Once again, thanks to both the chief guests for coming to Federation, and we look forward to work with you closely for the benefits of industry and traders. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. I request CA Mohammad Irshad Ahmad ji to take introductory remarks. Please, sir. Please give him the round of applause.
Good afternoon to one and all. Welcome to chief guests, President of FTCCI, distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, and the participants. It's indeed a great privilege to have both of the top bosses of central GST and state GST of the state of Telangana with us today for this interactive program and to address this August gathering. Sir, we welcome you with great enthusiasm and profound satisfaction. Friends, as we know, the law is same, the rules are same, circulars are same, everything is same. So whatever court cases that are coming, they are same, applicable to both the CGST and SGST. And this is the uniqueness of GST. From 2017, our calendar starts from June 2017, isn't it? So from June 2017, this is the uniqueness of GST. Everything is same. But there is one difference. Here. That difference is in tax administration. Is it not? You agree or you don't agree? Yes. So the law is same, but there is one difference. The difference is in tax administration. So as we know, registration is the entry gate for the GST, the moment someone registers in GST, they part ways. So there is a dead end ahead. One has to go on the left, one has to go on the right. So there is no choice left there. So either you fall under the state GST or you fall into the state GST. Now friends, so events like this gives an opportunity to all those stakeholders who have parted ways to come together, both center and state, and deliberate on critical issues. So on a lighter note, see, there is a tendency of comparing one's neighbor's wife and vice versa, of course, saying that there is nice food, there is nice manners, how she is taking care of everything. Similarly, we witness the same phenomena here, sir. When the taxpayers who are registered in state GST, when they look at taxpayers who are into center GST, center jurisdiction, they see the benefits they enjoy. And the taxpayers who are registered in center GST, when they see the state GST, they see the benefits they enjoy. However, my friends, you see, it is an arranged marriage. The moment you register into GST, you never know where you will fall. It is beyond your control. And it is arranged to an extent where you can't see the bride until you get married. So therefore, it is only after the GSTN is allotted to you, you will come to know that you have fallen in either the state GST or the central GST. So what do we do? So the answer to the simple question is happy married life. So you adapt. Simple, happy married life. So the thing is, events like this help us in building up solutions, resolving the issues, and charting the way forward. Sir, it's a long cherished dream of all of us that one day we thought center and state GST officials will come together and address jointly to our stakeholders. And you have taken your valuable time. And for this, a big round of applause to both the officials. Big round of applause. And because of these reasons, this event is very important. And in a sense, it is an historical event in my view. I've had the opportunity of interacting with the both officials. Sandeep Prakash ji has been a steadfast supporter of the trade and industry. Whenever we meet him, whenever he holds our grievances session, he gives a lot of time for the industry, he listens our issues, and he goes beyond in resolving our issues with a sincere efforts. And we are very lucky to have you here, sir. And definitely I could say that this region has benefited with your presence, and you have smoothened the transition from in GST in this region since the time you have taken over. Shri Rizvi ji has recently taken over, and I've had the opportunity of meeting with him on a couple of occasions. And let me tell you, my friends, he is keeping the close interest in listening to our grievances and resolving them. And we are witnessing the same in the gradual transmission of GST department, when we used to see bulk notices that are issued in the previous years. So, lot of applause to both of you, and we hope to see a transformation in both the departments in coming years. So, I am hopeful that this session is going to be very enriching. So, we will have a short, truncated technical session by Mr. Sahil Inamdar, and followed by the open house interactive session. So, the technical session would be about 15-20 minutes, and the house would be open for interactive session. Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite P. Krishna Garu for profile reading chief guest. He is a co-chair of GST and Customs Committee of FTCCI. Please, sir. Please give me a round applause.
So there is a small change, like, sir, instead of inaugural address, what we can do, we'll start the technical session and then followed by the introduction and then the interactive session. Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to invite Shri Sahil Inamdar, IRS 2007. He is an additional commissioner of CGST in Medchal, Telangana. He is a native of Pune and holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical from the University of Pune and began his career as a DSP in the Maharashtra Police before joining the IRS. With 20 years of experience, he has served in key roles, including in the Ministry of Finance, where he contributed to budget preparation and GST formulation, and as officer on special duty to the CBIC chairman. Since 2019, he has been serving in Telangana in various capacities, including in the DGGI intelligence wing. He brings a wealth of experience in taxation, governance, and policy formulation. So welcome you, sir, so that you can take up the session. Thank you.
Respected Principal Chief Commissioner Shri Sandeep Prakash sir, Principal Secretary to State Revenue and Commissioner of State Taxes Shri Rizvi sir, FTCCI President and other dignitaries who are there on the dais, and my dear friends and colleagues who are sitting here. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank FTCCI for arranging for this forum. As Irshad rightly pointed out, probably this is the first occasion where both the state and central top bosses of GST are coming and interacting. So indeed it is a good opportunity for all of you to get GST right from horse's mouth. So they are here. It is indeed a good opportunity. And it is a good opportunity for me also to showcase some recent changes which have been brought into GST. Most of them are taxpayer friendly. Most of them have been brought in to ensure ease of compliance. So my presentation will be brief. I'll be just taking you through the recent changes. It will not be very technical. I just want to highlight the important changes. The further details, I think you are all having equipped set of chartered accountants. Some of them I can see here who can guide you further. So without wasting further time, we will just start with the recent changes. This is the agenda which I have outlined. The recent thing which has been very important as far as GST is concerned is the GST Amnesty Scheme 2024. We will look into certain provisions, then section 74A which has been introduced. Then there are certain changes in GSTR 1, 3B and introduction of GSTR 1A. Then I would like to just touch upon the invoice management system and then followed by RCM mechanism. So these are the few issues which I want to highlight. As far as GST Amnesty Scheme is concerned, it is effective from 1st of November 2024. There is section 128A and rule 164 which have been introduced to cater to this GST amnesty scheme. It basically covers the period of 1st of July 2017. That is when GST was introduced till financial year 1920. So all those tax periods will be covered, and the amnesty is for interest and penalty, and not for the tax amount. Then there are certain nitty-gritties which I will touch in further slides, but I want to bring your attention to basically two notifications, notification number 20 and 21, which deal with this amnesty scheme, and there is a circular 238, which in detail gives you the FAQs as well as certain key aspects of this amnesty scheme. Now this is a brief of what we are covering in this waiver scheme. Basically all the show cause notices which have been issued under section 73, but no order has been issued, means no demand has been confirmed, it is still pending. Under 73(9) no order has been passed, or order has been passed under 73(9) but no appellate order has been issued. That is the second category. Third category is appellate order is issued, but it is pending at the second level, that is at the tribunal level, no order has been passed. And fourth is there has been a reassessment under section 73. So these are basically the 4 categories to which this amnesty scheme will be catering. And these are the specific forms which I have already mentioned, so I will not go into detail. This presentation, it will help you to understand. What is the important thing here to highlight is the due date of payment is 31st of March. So many taxpayers were under this assumption that they have missed the bus and they cannot opt for this scheme. So that was, persistently coming to us as a query or as a request as to whether we can participate in this scheme. So that is very much possible. The payment has to be made by 31st of March 2025. There are mode of payments, how to make, that is also mentioned. Which form has to be filled, that is also there in those notifications and circulars. And then once you make the payment and you make the application, then the waiver will be issued. So that is by 30th of June. So basically there will be 3 months given to the authorities to pass an order. This is just the scheme. I will just would like to highlight here. Basically, once you apply in SPL 01 or 02, then there will be within 3 months, there will be an order issued by the tax authorities, either giving you the waiver or rejecting the waiver. Once the waiver is issued to you, obviously your penalty and interest stands waived off. But if it is not given and rejection is issued, then you can still go for an appeal. So appellate mechanism is also inbuilt in this waiver mechanism. Then we will move to the next recent change, that has been introduction of section 74A. Now 74A is basically nothing but amalgamation of section 73 and 74 which we had earlier. Now they are merging these 2 sections and bringing a single section. The one thing which is important for you to understand is basically now there will be a new time frame. That is, for issuing show cause notices, the period has been increased to 42 months. So now the tax authorities have 42 months to issue a show cause notice under section 74A. This was earlier 3 years. So basically now there has been increased period under this new time frame, and there is a single section now. Within this single section, basically the tax authorities will bifurcate whether it is a show cause notice which is involving simple error, or whether it is a show cause notice which is being issued for suppression or misdeclaration with an intent to commit fraud. So there will be this bifurcation within the section itself, and accordingly the penalty will come into picture. So if it is a simple error on behalf of the taxpayer, then penalties will be almost akin to what we had in section 73. And if it is a fraud, then the penalties will be almost similar to what we had in section 74. Then these are some certain important changes which have been there in GSTR 1 and 3B. Basically, as far as GSTR 1 is concerned, there are certain facilities which have been provided by the GSTN, such as you can import your e-way bill data, or you can import your e-invoice data, which helps you basically to fill your GSTR 1. Because filing GSTR 1 sometimes can be tedious, but if you take help of these data which are already available with you, that will be easier. So just I'm giving some samples. This is how you can fill in certain tables of your GSTR 1 using the e-way bill data which is already available with you in your portal. There is that option which says import e-way bill data. So that will help you to build your GSTR 1. So it will something look like this. Then there is one more important change which has been brought out recently by notification number 12. All of you please take note of it, is that now for interstate sales to unregistered or consumers, if it is more than 1 lakh, it has to go to B2C large, which was earlier 2.5 lakhs. Now it has been made as 1 lakh. So this is one more important change which has been made. There is an advisory number 518, which basically is related to this issue. You can refer to this advisory. One more demand of the trade, because I'm witness to this particular request from the trade for a long time in grievance redressal meetings also, was introduction of negative liability in form GSTR 3B. So basically, negative liability is occurring when in the previous tax periods, if you have made tax payment which is more than your liability, then it means basically you have got a negative liability. The earlier option which was available to you was only to seek a refund claim saying that I have paid excess. But now with this facility, you can, in the subsequent 3Bs, you can adjust your negative liability. I have just shown one sample table 6.1. If you see the column number 3, it has been introduced as adjustment of negative liability. So whatever your tax payable is there, from the tax payable, this negative liability will be reduced. Thus, there is no reason for you to go for a refund. You don't have to wait for your refund to come. Straight away, it can get adjusted in your future or your immediate next GSTR 3B. As far as TDS is concerned, because TDS now will be, applicable to one more industry now, which will be coming to that in next few slides. So as far as those who are TDS deductors, this is the latest notification number 23/24, by which the late fees have been reduced. So if you are a nil return filer, mind you, even if you are having no TDS deduction, still you have to file a return. That is mandatory. But now the benefit for you is there will not be any penal charges if you are a late filer. And other than nil returns, now the penalty is maximum, that is 50 rupees per day with a maximum of 2,000 rupees. So this is regarding reduction in late fees. This is just for your information. This is not something which is very new. It has been there. Is basically the difference between GSTR 2A and 2B. All of you, I guess, know about this. Basically, 2A is dynamic. It keeps changing. It helps you to track, who all are your suppliers, who all are there paying their taxes, who all are filing GSTR 1s. Accordingly, your GSTR 2A will get, it will keep getting updated. Whereas 2B is static and it is frozen on a particular day. So GSTR 2B is something which will help you to give you the exact picture of your ITC when you're filing your 3B returns. Now this is something which has been again introduced recently, that is notification number 12/24, by which GSTR 1A has been introduced. Now all of you have to understand that GSTR 1A is something which will give you the option to change your output liability which you are fixing by way of filing your GSTR 1. So once you file your GSTR 1, you are assessing yourself as to what will be your liability in terms of your output invoices. GSTR 1A will give you the opportunity to amend GSTR 1. So this is again a new feature which has been started by GST and GSTN, and it can be filed. It will have two effects. As I said, one, it will change your own liability by way of, filing of 3B return. You can file your 3B return as per your amended GSTR 1, and it will also change your recipient's 2B. Because the moment you change your GSTR 1, your recipient's 2B will also be amended accordingly. I will shortly touch this very important aspect, which has been basically again a taxpayer friendly initiative by GST Council. In the latest GST Council, this was one of the important aspects which was highlighted, is the invoice matching mechanism, which we call it as IMS. This will basically help you to see, to correct, to amend your input invoices and to ensure that you are correctly availing your ITC, which will, the noble idea behind this is once you match your invoices, the tax authorities have no work left because you yourself are matching your invoices and taking credit. This is how you can access the IMS. Very important thing is this invoice management system is completely optional. it is been introduced as a feature to assist you. So it is not mandatory that you go to IMS and see and download and keep accepting or rejecting. Absolutely not required. It is just a tool which will help you to assess. These are certain sources from where you can get more information about IMS. This is where you can see the dashboard. That will be under dashboard, under returns. There will be a separate IMS dashboard where you can see this invoice management system. This is how it will look under different headings: B2B, B2B, B2C, large, and all this categorization will be there. I'll just take you to this important aspect. So basically, any invoice which you see in IMS, you have to take either any of these actions. First is accept, means you are in agreement with whatever invoice has been issued to you. You agree with that invoice, you just accept it. It will immediately go to your 2B. So before going to 2B, you are getting a chance to see your supplier's invoice and to accept it or reject it. So once it goes to 2B, you are also equally sure that the invoice which is going to my 2B is as per my requirement, as per my satisfaction. The second is reject. Once you are not accepting, then you can reject it, saying that, okay, probably he has not charged correctly, or the values are not correct, maybe the GST number has been mentioned correctly, address is not mentioned correctly, whatever. For whatever reason, if you reject it, it will not go to your 2B. If you keep it pending, then it will not be part of your 2B. But after 3 months, it will, if no action is taken, it will be considered as a deemed acceptance. So basically, these are the 4 actions which will be taken in IMS. This is nothing but the part of invoice matching which has been introduced. And based on the action, whatever you have taken in your IMS, there will be a draft GSTR 2B. This draft GSTR 2B will help you to file your GSTR 3B. That is the whole idea. These are certain aspects which are not available in IMS. Now, something which is being proposed from January 2025 is, because now they are providing you invoice matching, the GSTR 3B liability which will be popping up from your GSTR 1 and ITC which is populating from your 2B, that will be locked in your 3B. Right now, as most of you know, that in 3B you can change your ITC availment, you can change the figures, but that soon will not be available to you once the locking facility is introduced. There is an advisory which has been issued on 17th of October, you can refer to it. Then this is something which is important from a company's perspective, that the GST returns or GST data will be getting archived. So that archive effort has started, so it is important for you to that you download all your previous year's reports, returns, whatever you have been filed on GSTN, keep saving them because they will be archived. And the advisory also has been issued, you can refer to that, and the data will be retained only for 7 years. Then this is something on digital signatures. There were certain issues. It has been clarified that digital signatures are not required because the officers are logging into the system and then issuing the orders. So each order need not be digitally signed. That is what has been clarified. Then this is one more facility which has been available, that is reversals under Rule 37A is basically now available in 2B. Then this is one more advisory which was issued in January 24 regarding furnishing of bank details. So if you are not furnishing your bank details to GSTN, your GSTN can be suspended. So this is basically applicable for the new taxpayers who are taking registration. It will automatically be suspended if you don't give your bank account details. Now, one more important aspect which all of us wanted to discuss in detail is reverse charge mechanism and certain changes which have been brought recently. Now, reverse charge mechanism, I think all of you are aware, we will not go into the basics. Basically, reverse charge mechanism is shifting of liability to pay tax from the service or the goods supplied to the recipient. It has been there since service tax period, so all of you are very well aware with what is RCM mechanism. Now, it is basically in news because of recent changes, extending it to basically renting of properties and basically metal scrap. Now, as far as metal scrap is concerned, you can see this table. From when the metal scrap is being supplied from unregistered to registered supplier to registered recipient, basically there will be RCM liability. But if it is moving from unregistered to unregistered, there will not be any RCM, there will not be any TDS. And if it is moving from registered to registered, then there will be TDS and forward charge mechanism. So in nutshell, basically, both the reverse charge mechanism and TDS, you will get clarity from this table. This is one more issue, renting of any property. Now the word used here is any property. So I leave it up to you to understand what do you mean by any property. It doesn't say any immovable property, it says any property. Then this is basically applicable now for properties other than residential. So all warehouses, stockyards, open land, commercial buildings, shed, parking spaces, there will be now RCM. And that RCM, again I have mentioned it in the table. Basically it will be when it is moving from an unregistered landlord to a registered tenant. There will be a RCM liability. For residential dwelling, we are already having RCM. This is clear from this table. RCM for residential dwelling is when it is moving from unregistered property owner to a registered tenant. There is RCM. This was there from 2022. Now this has come in for other properties. And then this is the last issue which I wanted to flag is that there is a time limit. Under RCM, you have to issue a self-invoice. That self-invoice has to be issued within 30 days. And then you can take credit of it. There is Rule 47A which prescribes this time limit. So this is in nutshell the recent changes which I wanted to flag. This RCM ITC statement now will be available on portal, which was not there, and there was a demand for it also for a long time. Now it has been introduced. So you can take help of this RCM ITC statement on portal, which will give you the exact liability of your liability under RCM and also the ITC availability because of RCM. There will be a statement. That's it. Thank you from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sahil. So, friends, we'll have just 5 minutes. Felicitations, sir, just 5 minutes. After that, we'll straight away move into the open house session. So, we have amongst us 2 distinguished senior personalities who are none other than Shri Tirumalai, Mr. Sampath Tirumalai and Mr. P.V. Subbarao. So, in token of their tremendous contribution to the profession and to the stakeholders, to the industry, we would like to felicitate to them on this occasion where we have both the center and the state together with us. And similarly, we have 2 professionals who represent center. Tirumalai sir represents center and P.V. Subbarao sir represent the state. So therefore, I have found no other perfect occasion than this to felicitate them in this occasion. And we welcome you, sir. Please, please join us on the stage. Thank you so much. Please come. Please come. request Sri Sandeep Prakash ji to felicitate Subbarao ji, and I request Mr. Rizvi ji to felicitate Thirumalai sir. So I now request IT Corridors Welfare Association representatives to come and felicitate Sri Sandeep Prakash ji. Sir, they would like to felicitate you for your support. Let me inform you, friends, there was a recent amendment, exemption given to PG accommodations up to 20,000 rupees per month, and the person who behind this exemption is none other than Sri Sandeep Prakash ji. A big round of applause to him. So at this occasion, they would like to come and felicitate him and acknowledge his contribution to their fraternity. Thank you very much. So friends, now we will move on to the open house session. We are waiting for this open house session since maybe how many minutes? 30 minutes. So I think we should say since last 7 years, we are waiting for this open house session where we are looking forward for a joint session where both central and GST officers will address jointly to the state issues. Now without wasting much time, I would request Sri P. Krishna Garu, co-chair of the GST and Customs Committee, and also the chairman of the membership committee and member of the managing committee, to come and introduce Shri Syed Ali Murtuza Razvi Sahab.
Good evening, all of you. Chief guests, Sandeep Prakash IRS, Sri Syed Ali Murtuza Razvi, and today's technical speaker Sahil Imandar. Good evening, all of you. It's a privilege and gives immense pleasure to introduce Sri SIM Rizvi IAS 1999 batch
is the Principal Secretary to the Government, State Government, Revenue, CT and Excise Department, and Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Telangana. An IIT Kanpur alumnus with BTech in Electrical Engineering and PG Diploma from IIM Hyderabad. He also attended the National Defense College, New Delhi, with 25 years of experience. He has held key roles in the district administration, energy, health, and revenue sectors, including Collector of Nalgonda, Krishna, and Hyderabad, and CMD of AP, CPDCL, and AP Transco. He served in the Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India 2014 to 2019, and as a Secretary of Health Department 2022-23. And later he held as a FSC for CMD Transco and CMD TH Genco from 2023-24. Currently he is overseeing critical revenue functions in Telangana department. Now with a pleasure I am presenting Mr. Razvi to the August gathering. Thank you.
So I request Sri Krishna Kumar Maheshwari ji, who is Vice President of FTCCI, to introduce Sri Sandeep Prakash ji, IRS. Thank you.
Good evening, all of you. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Sandeep Prakash ji at his office, and I can tell with clarity that he has so much of clarity when you're talking to him and his understanding of the subject. And I would say that he is a brand ambassador for all of us who are sitting over here. The only thing is we need to convince him that our demand for a reduction, our simplification is justified, and I'm sure he will take it up with the GST Council to get us the relief. And Sri Sandeep Prakash ji, Principal Chief Commissioner, Hyderabad Zone, is a 1990 batch IRS, Customs and Indirect Taxes officer. Before joining as Chief Commissioner at Hyderabad in June 2023, he was Additional Secretary in the Department of Revenue. During his 34 years of service, he has worked in multiple field formations, directorates of Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. He has also worked as Director in the Ministry of Civil Aviation and as Secretary of the Airport Economic Regulatory Authority. He did his MTech from IIT Madras and LLB from University of Delhi. With this, I welcome Shri Sandeep Prakash ji, Principal Chief Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll move into the open house session. Sir, first and foremost, what we did along with the registration forms, we gave an option to our participants to pose a question to the chief guests. So we have received several questions, queries, solutions, and their own problems, and we have documented this in this flyer. We would like to hand over this document to you. And my friends, so we are giving all your questions, all your queries to them, and we hope to see action from them whenever it is possible from them, whichever is there within their domain. If it is a policy issue, it will be forwarded to the concerned governments for taking further action. If it is a local issue, if it is there within their reach, we hope to see some solution on their side. So I would like to hand over these two documents to both of them on your behalf. And after that, we have selected certain questions. We have invited certain associations who are also member of this member of FTCCI. I would like to I would call their names, and they would pose a question to them, and chief guests will give an answer to their questions. So first question is from FTCCI, sir. Before I go to the question and answer sheet, so our question is to Shri Rizvi ji. Sir, we would like to know the way forward of the state GST department, given the fact that there has been several bulk notices in past few years, right from 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, and 2020-21, we are receiving few notices, and we are seeing little transformation from those bulk notices to truncated notices. So the most sought after question from many participants, many members from the trade and industry is, what is the plan of action that state GST department has with respect to these bulk notices, whether you are going to continue with these bulk notices or we are going to see some change, sir?
See, this implementation of the GST Act, which started in 2017, has been evolving and it has been maturing, and various measures are being taken by both state and central tax administration to streamline and make it easy to implement. This regarding your question on bulk notices, etc. Recently there has been a discussion in the GST Council also. I think last GST officers meeting, the officers meeting preceding GST Council, and even one meeting on enforcement before that, Revenue Secretary, Union Revenue Secretary was discussing with us about the possible performance indicators and parameters which should be adopted by different states. One of the performance indicators and parameters that they are trying to evolve at the national level is selection of cases for scrutiny. And there is a norm that is being evolved about what should be the percentage of cases that should be taken up for scrutiny, so that it doesn't become abnormally large. Because if the cases are not very carefully, judiciously selected based on risk assessment, then the numbers become very large. The officers also find it difficult to go into details, study the cases properly, pass well-reasoned and speaking orders. So this suggestion is there, and it is a very good suggestion, and we are intending to issue notices based on proper risk assessment and carefully selected, so that well-reasoned and speaking order after in-depth study can be passed by our officer.
Thank you very much. So first question is on 128A. Mr. Girdhari Toshniwal from Secretary of Hyderabad branch of Southern India Regional Council of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Is he here today? He is not here. So I will ask on his behalf. So the question is, sir, this is to center. To section 128A, amnesty scheme was notified on November 2024, 1st November 2024. And because of delayed notification in forms, there was a delay for about 4 months, no? Because GST Council took decision in 53rd meeting, and then followed by Finance Act, and then Finance Act took 3-4 months to notify, and that notification came on 1st November 2024. So meanwhile, tax departments are initiating recovery proceedings. In those cases where the show cause notices are issued, orders are issued, appeals have also been issued, and all the taxpayers who are intending to avail the benefit of this amnesty scheme, they were waiting for these notifications to be published. And meanwhile, the due date for filing the appeal or due date for filing the reply is already over, and the department is initiating the recovering proceedings. So the question is whether department is going to give further time, because as we see, as Mr. Sahil has also stated, still the forms are yet to be notified when it comes to Section 128A. Recently DRC 03A has been notified, SL forms have to be notified yet. So given these gradual introduction of forms, will we get some relief from recovery proceedings from the department? That is the question. Sir.
The section 128A is very clear. Actually, it also very clearly gives the objective of the government. Government doesn't want those disputes to continue, which are of previous period and where, no misdeclaration, misstatement, willful suppression, fraud, etc. is involved. Therefore, a very liberal scheme has been brought in. That is, you just pay the tax, even the interest and penalty are waived for the period up to financial year 1920. The period, the last date by which you have to comply is 31st March 2025. And after that, you have to fill certain forms. And I think Sahil in his presentation also covered various situations where, the show cause notice is pending adjudication, where adjudication has been completed, appeal is pending, where first appeal is pending, where first appeal has also been disposed of, and the appeal to the tribunal is pending. Now, what I understand from Mr. Shah's question is that in anticipation of the scheme, certain people did not exercise their statutory right of appeal, and then what happens? Typically, I would answer this question by we will cross the bridge when we come to it. But I would like to know from you because, in some other context, I was asking the Commissioner Appeals today as to from how much, from his pendencies, how many appeals really pertain to this section 73 and how many appeals of those are from the taxpayers and how many are from the department. What I am given to understand that a very large number are already there. Tribunal, as you are aware, there cannot be any appeal because tribunal is not yet established. So I would like to know from you what is the extent of this issue, that where in anticipation somebody has, overshot the appeal limitation. This came in July. The GST Council recommended it in July. Technical answer will be that till the time the law had been amended, the scheme had been notified, you had to file the appeal. But yes, because the government's objective is very clear that we don't want those disputes to go on. We would like to know that in how many cases, say 1%, 2%, what is the kind of cases which is there, so that if required, we can bring it to the notice of the government, and maybe government in those cases can consider that the appeal period can be extended or whatever, something can be brought in. But as of now, you would have to comply with whatever is there in section 128A and the relevant notification. A detailed circular has also been issued. So as of now, that is.
Sure. Thank you so much. So second question is from Mr. Abhishek. He is representing Hyderabad Kirana Merchants Association, Begum Bazar, and he is also Vice President of Papers Mill Association, I guess. Mr. Abhishek. Yeah, Mr. Abhishek. Yeah.
So, warm greeting to all the dignitaries. I represent Telangana Paper Merchant Association, Abhishek Vijayavagi here. The first thing I would say, the paper products are registered under 12% GST slab. The paper is eco-friendly, biodegradable and sustainable. From your birth to your death, you require paper. I mean, for your birth certificate to your death certificate, you require paper. So, government is slowly planning to phase out 12% tax slab. So, we request you to kindly get paper to 5% tax slab, so it will help the paper dealers to further grow. And the second thing is RCM on commercial property shall not be made applicable to taxpayers registered under the composition scheme or those who cannot avail ITC, sir. And third, as Sureshji already said, we are charitable organization, and for us to comply with GST norms is very tedious, sir. We just got, our income just cost 20 lakhs, and really difficult for us to comply with all GST norms. So we request you to kindly increase it to 40 lakhs with all the other states. Thank you, sir.
So there is one more issue that they have, sir. So they are getting frequent calls from the state GST department every month. If there is a delay in filing the returns, or if there is, now the thing is that is reversal of ITC, temporary reversal of ITC, reclaiming of the ITC. On these topics also they are getting calls from the tax department. So these calls are creating some sort of pressure and panic amongst the taxpayers. Maybe there should be a bit longer time frame where the calls can be made. It's not like no call should be made. They have every right to make the calls, but within 1 month of delay, making a call is creating some sort of panic, sir.
So the questions, 3 questions that they are not questions actually, they are sort of suggestions or requests, etc. for consideration. And this is basically the question that is there on the screen. So the other 3, the earlier 3 suggestions we have noted, they are mainly policy related issues. We will get them examined at the level, appropriate level. But as far as the matter regarding receiving calls to file the returns, actually you see the returns have to be filed after the business is done in the next month. And so the taxes are presumed to have been collected and they have to be paid. There is no, I don't see why, a reminder, it should actually be welcomed, because sometimes in the pressure of work, you may, or in your own operations, you may forget. So somebody is calling you, it's a good thing, it should be welcomed. That is one thing. And the second thing is regarding the reversal of ITC, I don't think it applies, everywhere, but there are certain situations where IGST, ITC may, for example, be there. That's more relevant for the state government per se, where, for example, something may have been purchased in some state, it is coming to Telangana, and it is being received as a consumer, for example. Though you are a business, but you are receiving it as a consumer. So you have paid the tax, you have received the good, you have also paid the IGST there. So somebody from the state, because state has to, you have to take some action to ensure that the IGST flows to the state. So these calls are by way of reminders to help you to take that action, to help that money flow to the state. You have already incurred the tax. So I don't think there is any issue in this. Perhaps there is some misunderstanding in this question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah, please.
See, another aspect which we all have to keep in mind is that the return filing compliance in Telangana is actually lower than the national average. So all the more reason that you all should be more, careful about it, yourself forthcoming, and you should welcome the call from the tax collector. He is giving you a reminder. We are giving him an alarm clock. He's ringing the alarm for you. So it's important. Actually, the compliance has to be there, and in fact, though it is coming from the Kirana merchant, I will take it to the large taxpayers also. It is our experience that some large taxpayers are also habitually late in filing their GSTR 3B returns. And when contacted, they say that, all right, sir, we will in any case be paying with interest, even if we are filing delayed. What is there? Now, what is there, you please look inside. If this starts happening on your commercial side, what would happen? Everybody will say what is there. So we can't, allow this kind of a thing to happen. So please do understand that the return is being filed 20 days after the month is over. You have already collected the tax. So more you keep it, more accommodation you are getting. For 20 days you are in any case getting accommodation. Since I am talking to businessmen, I am sure you are understanding from where I am coming. After 20 days again you say that more accommodation. It cannot go on. So our officers will call you, it is their duty to call you, and we expect that you will tell all your members that compliance has to increase. Please take it as our request that you have to improve the compliance.
Thank you. Third question is to Mr. Sunil Shroff, who is President of Telangana Iron and Steel Manufacturers Association.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I represent TISMA, Telangana Iron and Steel Manufacturers Association. I have 3 points, sir. Sir, iron and steel industry, particularly in Telangana, is passing through one of the worst phases. As it is, iron and steel industry, we were around 150 units before. Hardly 30 to 35 units are running at present. We in Telangana, sir, it's a landlocked state. We cannot import raw material. We have to get our sponge iron from Bellary, Raipur. It is one of the highest tariff from the electricity point of view. In spite of that, sir, we are surviving and we are operating our units. We are purchasing scrap from the registered dealers. It's a high turnover and low margin industry, sir. So, but what is happening, sir? Even though we are purchasing and we are following all the compliances, like toll gates, photos, making the payment through the RTGS, seeing that the dealers are physically available and the godowns are there. But in spite of that, there are some issues, sir. So we are more concentrating on running the plant and we cannot go further down the line, sir. So this is one issue, sir. And the second one is, sir, on the RCM method, which from the unregistered dealers when we are purchasing.
No, the first issue you are saying, if you are procuring from registered persons who are into scrap business, so what is the issue there and what is the
issue, sir? Then what is happening? The department generally comes to us that the registered dealer has not paid the GST.
So that is the issue. So yeah, fine. Yeah.
So that is one thing, sir.
And then you are forced to reverse the ITC.
Yeah, but asking us, sir,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we cannot, no, sir. We are running the plant, we have paid the GST to them.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Then the second point is there, sir, that from the unregistered dealers to the registered dealers, that RCM has been introduced. And that there is also a threshold limit to it, I believe 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs something. So that is not serving the purpose actually, to be very frank. So why don't we make this RCM from registered to the registered till the last end user, we are ready to pay the taxes, sir. When we are paying it to them, we are ready to pay it to the department also, sir. And the third one was this TDS which has been recently introduced, sir, by 2%. Why don't we make it for strict compliance and more revenue to the department, 6 or 7%? This is all I have to say, sir. Thank you.
So, sir, long story cut short, what they mean to say, they welcome the recent introduction where, recent amendment where procurements from unregistered persons were brought into RCM fold. However, they would want this to be extended to procurements from even the registered persons. The reason being, this is a vulnerable sector, high risk sector. Even though they are registered under the GST, there is a high tendency of default in payment of taxes, and indirectly they are being penalized because someone else has not paid the tax, especially in this sector. So that is their main request here.
See, there are two issues which we have to keep in mind. Section 16 of the Section 16 of the Act has two clauses. One is where the credit is taken when no goods or services are received, you cannot take credit. Another is where credit is It's really a contentious question. I think the system also says. So, first, as I was saying, is where the credit is taken when goods or services have not been received. Another is where think this is where the problem lies. Moving to the second one. Another is where you have taken the credit, goods, services have been received, but your supplier has not paid the tax. Now the issue which is there is where supplier has not paid the tax, and your contention is you have already paid him the tax component in honor of the invoice which he has raised on. I don't know how you will take it if I am in your position and my supplier defaults on paying something which he has already recovered from me, for which I am being double penalized by reversal also. I will ensure that supplier does not remain on my supply chain if I am in your position, right? So in my limited or whatever experience you may call it, what I have seen, the difficulty is not with mostly this. The difficulty is where people start trading in invoices. The difficulty is where you have the invoice, you have a tax paid invoice, but there are no goods or services. So it's purely an integrity issue. It is, it will vary from A to B to C to D to E to Z. My request, since we are sitting in this, forum, my request is you have to increase awareness in the industry. Insofar as the unregistered supplier is concerned, the government has already taken the measure that you can pay and take credit. So the issue is to that extent resolved. Even where you were saying that, I have reimbursed him, but he is not paying, since you are, deducting TDS, a flag is already raised. If he doesn't, then he will quickly come into notice and, it can be handled. The problem is where goods and services have not come. So for which no tax administrator can give you a solution. For this, the solution has to come from within you. Please take it from credible suppliers. Please take the things where that no issues of this nature arise. As far as what you are saying is that for the registered supplier also RCM. Now when there is a registered supplier, where is the question of RCM? RCM is where the supplier is unregistered. For policy reasons, the government knows that that sector or that strata of suppliers need not be registered. There it is putting the burden on the recipient. But it is an exception. Where the supplier himself is registered, he can pay the tax. How is it going to help you? He is a registered supplier, he will pay the tax, he will supply you the goods. Where it is unregistered, your issue used to be that scrap by very nature is such that a large number of suppliers are in unorganized sector. They are small people who are not registered. For that a solution has come. When there are registered suppliers, they are obviously organized. They know what they are doing. They will discharge their burden. So my request is, please educate your members, please educate your, commercial teams, the marketing teams, that they should take the goods from credible suppliers. This problem will not arise.
Thank you. So fourth question is on Mr. Sudhindra, who is representing Engineering Exports Promotion Council.
So good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the dais, sir. Myself, Sudhindra, I am representing here on behalf of EEPC India. Sir, my question to the state was the average time for GST refund is more than 3 months, particularly from the state GST. The delay in refunds is crippling the working capital of the taxpayers and adversely affecting the survival of small taxpayers, sir. So if you can, I would like to seek some clarifications on this.
So I just, as per the framework of GST also, I think 90 days is the time frame permitted for the, the refund to happen. 60?
No, 90 days.
90 days.
No, the provisional refund of 90% has to be immediately given, and then verification should happen, and then it should be finalized, sir.
60 days or 90?
Yeah.
90, as far as I remember, it is 90. But in any case, after that, whatever is their time limit, after that interest has to be paid, as far as we understand. But nevertheless, this issue has, sometimes sporadic complaints come to our notice also, have come to my notice. And we have given strict instructions that the statutory timelines while making refunds should be adhered to.
Please. Thank you very much, sir. So fifth question is Mr. Prabhakar, who is representing Telangana Builders Federation. He is here. Mr. Prabhakar. Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Sir, plotting development attracts GST, sir.
What is that? Sorry.
Plotting development.
Plotting
small
development.
plots.
Yeah. So
actually,
their question is also displayed on the screen.
The open land is developed, and small plots are divided into small plots. If sale of small plots attract GST or not, sir? Actually, Schedule 3, land is immovable property, where there is no GST to sale of open plots. But under JDA, when land developed, under construction services, GST is attracted. And what value we have to take to pay GST? If it is GST is there. That is my question.
No, JDA is different. So if you mix JDA, then that will alter the situation. I think, see, the thing is, I own the land.
Yes.
I own the land, and I do all these underground infra, and they sell the developed plots. Is it
then
not?
there is no GST.
And then there is a no.
Plotted development, there is no GST, no, sir.
No. So I'm just clarifying your question. So I do underground infra, and then I sell the developed plots, and there is the activity of infrastructure on that land is a construction service. So I think the question is whether this component attracts the GST, especially in the light of Circular 177 para 14. And then the question is, sir, there are certain notices issued also on this particular point. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
right? Yeah, in spite of this circular. Specifically in that context, sir.
177, sir.
See, if I remember the circular correctly, it says that there is no GST on sale of land, and it also clarifies that when land is developed by way of drainage, etc., there is no GST
Infrastructure
on sale of
development.
such developed land also. But what this circular clarifies is that this development activity, that is this drainage, etc., if you take that service, on that there is GST.
On what valuation, sir?
Pardon?
What valuation?
I don't know, sir. It will have to be seen from case to case.
Case to case.
But scope has been clarified by this circular, which says that on the development part of service, if you are obtaining that service for developing that
Infrastructure.
on that GST will be leviable. So whatever will be the value of those services, on that GST will be leviable. I think in some GRC you people had taken up this.
Worst contract is 18%.
In some GRC meeting, this issue had been taken up. At that time also I had said that if any notices have been issued beyond the scope of this circular, please bring it to our notice, so that if we can correct it in some way, we will correct it. But, in absence of any specific thing, it would not be, I will not be able to go beyond what is there already in this circular.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thanks,
much. So the sixth question is to Mr. Narsingh, who is representing Telangana Tax Practitioners Association, TTPA. Yes, sir. The questions are also displayed on the screen. You can read out.
Good afternoon, sir. I am K. Narsingh Rao, President of Telangana Tax Practitioners Association. And some of our members has posed these following questions for your kind perusal, sir. First thing is, majority of the orders are passed without granting the personal hearing, leading to flooding of the writs before the high courts. Furthermore, many orders are unreasoned and non-speaking without considering the objections. In addition, DRC 07 orders are also not uploaded on time. Second question, presently, the appellate authority in state GST is the Joint Commissioner. In case the orders passed by the JC himself, taxpayers are forced to file the writ petitions. Third one is, in several cases, the state GST officers are not punctual on the date of personal hearing, and when persons reach the office from distant places on PH day, they will discover that the officer is on leave and are absent to some reasons. The fourth question, sir, cancellation and suspension of registration are being made without any reasons and are not being specified in the orders. Adding this further one question, sir, as many of the members present here are well known to that, many orders under section 73 and 74 are passed by the officers and they are being kept in the portal without the lack of knowledge and without noticing that orders on the portal. The appellants or the assessees are forced to file the appeals before the first appellate authorities. When the councils or the persons who are filing the appeals before the first appellate authority, after filing that one, the appellate authorities are again issuing the notices through email to the assessees. Still, they are unable to trace that notices, sir, and they are not giving any notices to the councils who has presented the appeal before them. Kindly check it up, sir, and if at all any other notices, that hearing notices will be sent to the councils simultaneously along with this appellant, it will be a welcoming step, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So actually, I'll answer this question first, namely that the appellate authority in the state GST is usually the JC, but in case JC himself is the authority who passes the orders, then the taxpayers are forced to file writ petitions because there is no officer specified who will entertain appeals on orders passed by the JC themselves. Actually, recently we have notified that Additional Commissioner State Tax Grade 1 is the competent authority to whom appeals can be made from orders passed by JC. Then as far as this observations regarding orders being passed by proper officers without granting personal hearing or on the date of personal hearing when the taxpayer he appears before the proper officer, then they are absent or they are on leave, and this fact is not informed to the taxpayer. If there are any such specific cases, because we take serious note of these things, if there are any specific cases, please feel free to share with me separately.
We will communicate, sir.
Yeah, please feel free to share with me the details of these cases separately.
Okay.
And we will ensure that these kind of things don't happen, because personal hearing has to be taken seriously. And DRC 07 orders are not uploaded on time. I don't know. I mean, you'll have to let me know. Give me the specific cases. As far as the orders being cryptic, etc., is concerned, that the orders are very cryptic and laconic, and so it is leading to problems. Recently, we have given instructions actually to all the proper officers because I have noticed sometimes the orders are too brief, too short, and not very clear. So I have given written instructions that they should be speaking orders. Okay, thank you.
The last question, sir, I asked you regarding this hearing notices along with the appellant that may be issued to the councils also, sir, who has filed.
So the counsel who appears before the original proper officer is not the same as the counsel who is appearing before the appellate.
No, we are filing the appeals before the first appellate authority,
Right,
sir.
right.
They are sending the notices through email or through portal to the assessee himself.
So taxpayer himself.
Yes. So we are unable to trace out that when the personal hearing was
So
posted.
taxpayer is not able to communicate with the counsel.
Councils. That is
Okay.
the reason many appeals has been filed, sir, actually.
Okay.
That
I
please
think
look it after,
we
sir.
can try to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Orders are passed and dealers will get 90 days time. But while you observe previous acts and practices, dealers used to receive the orders personally, right, in hand. So now they are not receiving because of act says it is going through emails. But due to lack of knowledge, so many orders are pending at even not filed appeals also for that. So many orders, hundreds of orders. So my request, earlier in our discussion, officers are reminding to file returns, right, in time. So why don't they remind after passing the order at least 15 days, if they give a reminder, at least
we can do that.
So that is must, sir. Sir, you please check at your end. There are so many orders which they have not even filed after 120 days.
We can do that.
Very unfortunate, and people are going to high courts. High court is also not considering. Thank you.
On a lighter note, actually recovery proceeding will be a reminder, I think.
You are correct, sir. Recovery proceeding is a reminder only, but they are asking after 120 days. Even that reminder also. Very unfortunate. If it is received within 1 week or 15 days after passing the order by phone by the same officers who are every day saying that we have no work. So at least they can do this. Thank you, sir.
Sir, you have mentioned that the orders passed by the JC can be appealed with grade 1 officer. This in extension of this, sir, what is happening? Whatever orders that state GST is issuing or any circulars or any trade notices, they are not made available because the website is also old one, the previous website. If a facility is made available on a website is revamped and all the trade notices that are being issued by the state GST, if they are uploaded on the website, that would be readily available. One second, sir, one second. For state, sir, state.
State GST orders.
Trade notices, circulars issued by the state GST.
I think we ought to be uploading on our commercial tax department website.
Not available, sir. Absolutely not.
So we'll ensure that they are uploaded. Please ensure. We'll do it.
Yeah. Please, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So the question is on pharma sector from Bulk Drug Manufacturers Association, represented by Mr. Nagarjuna.
Very good afternoon, sir. I'm Nagarjuna. I'm representing actually two organizations, Federation of Pharma Entrepreneurs and Bulk Drug Manufacturers Association. We are paying a huge amount of cess on coal purchases, which is being accumulated, and this is burdening our working capital. During the filing of GSTR 3B, just like CGST and SGST are offsetted, cess is not automatically offset. So I think if that is done, it will release a lot of working capital also for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as cess is concerned, The law is very clear. The law states that the cess can be used only for offsetting your liability on cess. So if you are accumulating cess, ITC under cess head, it can be used only for your outward cess liability. Otherwise, as you have said correctly, that it cannot be automatically offset for IGST or CGST or SGST. That provision is not possible. But yes, if your outward liability is there in cess, then you can use the ITC. Otherwise, the ITC will be accumulated. That's what I'm saying. If you're not having any outward liability. And the second option is, suppose if you are, I'm giving you some scenarios which may be applicable in your case. Suppose you are accumulating cess and your outward is at a lower tariff or zero tariff, then you can get refund of that cess under inverted duty structure. But if that is not the case, then ITC will remain accumulated. Then I understand it is a policy issue and needs to be, further escalated.
So, sir, in case of exports, there is some confusion, I believe, when there is the balance of unutilized ITC of cess, whether that is subject to refund or not. There is one circular that has been issued. Internally, when we are discussing, there were divergent views emerging. Some sections are saying that is refundable and some other sections are saying that is not refundable. Anyways, I am just putting this before. We will give you a detailed note on this just for your information. So then another important question which is more local is from Mr. Vinil, who is representing Hyderabad Goods Transport Association. Mr. Vinil. And this is to state or center, sir, whoever wants to choose.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Good evening. I'm representing Hyderabad Goods Transport Association. So, as we know, any product has to move by the transporters, and some major issues that we have been seeing for our transporters is goods are being sent by manufacturers or someone else and received by someone else. But for any penalties or any structure that is being done is being imposed on the transporter. For example, if we take the presumption of undervalue of the goods. So a lot of our trucks are being held at borders sometimes by the officers because they suspect the goods might be undervalued. So as a transporter, we actually do not have the bandwidth or control on looking at if it is undervalued or not, because they give us a genuine GST bill and it is at our purview to transport the goods. So if there is a solution for this, is what we actually were expecting, is anyway the e-invoicing structure is coming in, e-way bill is coming in, and everything is linked internally. So that is where we want to see how the transporter can be eliminated of this picture, because everything is going from and to and just passing over the transporter. That is one. And the another major issue that we have seen is for physical verification, there is a provision in law which says that the officer can hold the vehicle for minimum of 3 days. They have the provision where they can hold the vehicle for 3 days for physical verification. But so even though this is actually a good thing for the because there might be lines or there might be issues that the officers might face, we have seen in a lot of cases where the officers have been misusing this. But in some instances we have seen isko baaju mein rakho yaar baad mein dekhenge. I say these kind of instances have been increasing recently in the border areas wherever we have been plying. Not only in Telangana, but we have seen this across as well. So if there is a basic timeline where we can, so transporter ka ek din ka, if a vehicle is held, that is a huge loss for a transporter. That is roti makan for the transporter. And holding of that vehicle without giving a proper reason on what to do and how to do it. And also for physical verification, it is it comes under the purview of the transporter or the driver to bring unloaders or loaders or amalis, laborers, to unload the whole truck and load the whole truck. There might be 1,000 consignments, there might be 1 lakh consignments in the same truck. So that is a huge burden when it comes to remote places. some provision for such kind of things which can ease the movement of transactions across across the borders or anywhere would be very helpful.
So I have noted your concerns basically, which is regarding the detention of the transport vehicles, which you feel are not directly involved in the transaction between the seller and the buyer. And you made some suggestions about what perhaps could be done. I have made note of those suggestions. We'll see if it is possible to work out a way where the transporters are not put to any hardship during the course of implementation of these checks, etc. Right.
So, one more question to state. Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, Mr. Suresh Reddy.
Good afternoon to all. I mean, as he has already mentioned, and I represent the motor vehicle dealers of Telangana. The concerns, I mean, they're not very big, but I think they are making a kind of a hindrance in our day-to-day operations. See, customers of other states buy vehicles from us. I mean, though the numbers may be limited, but say from AP to Telangana, when we sell a vehicle, we pay the IGST because the registered the person who's buying the vehicle is registered in the other state, and we pay the IGST. But the vehicles are delivered here. He takes it through his truck or through his own driver, or sometimes we arrange another driver to him. But here the confusion is now whether we should pay CGST and SGST or the IGST is sufficient. So the interpretation can be in a different form, but having delivered the vehicle and when we have discharged the payment to IGST, I think internally it can be adjusted. See, I'm not right authority to say that what is SGST and CGST is right or IGST is right. If the department feels whatever way it is the correct way, the IGST can be adjusted between the CGST and SGST. And then rather than again asking the dealer to pay the SGST, CGST and then take refund from IGST. This is one part of it. Then the second part of it is in the process of our business, we buy old cars and sell the old cars after refurbishing them. Now, the value of the car that we have purchased and the value of the car that we have sold, there is a difference, maybe a margin, what we call it. So we discharge it on the margin that we sell the vehicle. So that is the GST part of it, because there is a deemed input on the old vehicle that we have purchased, and then there is an output on it. But now we are getting notices saying that on the basic transaction value itself, that is the sale value of the whole goods, that we need to pay the GST, which I don't think it is practical for our do it, because the margins are 2-3% and the taxes are to the extent of 28 to 50%. So there is a clear cut and all that, but despite all this, we get notices on that, and then we have to again go dispute, and then maybe raise a kind of thing. The other part of it is, I think it's not mentioned, it has already been the steel manufacturers associations have already taken it up on the suppliers that we get. Bigger suppliers, anyway, we have control on them, but the smaller suppliers we don't have, because they are registered dealers. They give various goods that we purchase from them on our day-to-day operations. And when they don't discharge those taxes at their end, we are being subjected to recover that from our side, which is probably not correct, is what I say. We would like to relook at the same thing, and the department can have a better mechanism to recover from the other side of the GST dealer who has been registered after due diligence by the department. Thank you, sir.
IGST part of it, essentially the leviability of IGST is on the interstate supply. So what is important to understand is what is the place of supply or point of supply. If you are actually handing over the goods here, what is the point of supply? I think there is a circular on this issue which gives all kinds of, permutation combinations and clarifies as to where, CGST and SGST will be applicable, where IGST will be applicable. If you are going according to that, that application will be there. So far as the sale of used vehicles is concerned, I have not been able to understand what is margin scheme.
I will tell him, sir. So margin scheme has been rolled out by the government, that is applicable only on the used vehicles, and the tax would have to be paid on the difference of the value of written down value in the books versus the sale value. That's all. So there is no need to calculate tax on the gross value.
So what is the difficulty?
So the question is, they are following the margin scheme as advised by the government, but they are getting notices that they should follow the regular scheme of taxation. Is it not?
Yeah. See, if I purchased a vehicle at say 100 rupees and then sold it at say 102 or 103, now I'm getting a notice on saying that my liability is on 102 rupees, but not on the 2 rupees.
Yeah.
Details they dijiye. If
Yeah.
there is something of this nature, let's have a look at it. We'll be, like to examine and remedy it if there is some mistake which our people are committing. Okay.
No, sir.
Please, Your Honor.
We can give the representation, Lakshmipati. We can give the representation. We will get the answer. I will take up, no problem. So paucity of time is there. We'll take up. Definitely, I will take up.
My name is R.K. Bhatia from Twin Bird Company, Hyderabad. We are exporters of rare earth metals, which is not available in India and cannot be used in India. And we are facing problem of ITC, reversal of ITC on retrospective cancellation of registration.
Okay, sir.
For 1 year, 1.5 year, parties are available, everybody is available. And in spite of that, when it is cancelled from the date of registration, which we are unable to know it. And we have checked up with the suppliers, GST department, they have paid everything and they have paid the tax to the department also. But still we are getting the notice. For the last 3 years, first 2 years were okay. There was no problem. For the last 3 years, 1.5 crore notice has come, and out of that now again it has shelled down to only 50 lakhs. I visited all the GST offices of the suppliers and they said everything is okay, you have to tackle in your state only. So this cancellation from retrospective effect,
retrospective effect.
हाँ, तो वो जो होता है वो हमें पता नहीं चलता है, और ये पूरा हमारा माल आता है और एक्सपोर्ट होता है, पूरा बैंकिंग थ्रू होता है, पेमेंट बैंकिंग थ्रू जाता है, उनका पैन नंबर है और अभी भी है।
आपका पॉइंट समझ में आ गया। पहले तो ये बताएं which association you represent.
जी।
Which association?
No, I am representing myself, my company, Twin Bird Company.
He is a member of FTCCI, sir.
FTCCI.
You said some 1.5 crore notice. I hope it is not numbers of notices.
No, it clubbed, 3 notices have been clubbed in one.
So the issue is regarding some ITC which you have availed from the suppliers whose registrations have been cancelled on retrospective basis. That is it.
Yes.
See, the law permits the tax collector to do so. Typically, we resort to it in 2 kinds of cases. One where somebody has not filed his returns for more than 6 months, or when we find that he has been part of a fake ITC chain, right? So, the retrospective cancellation is not a normal kind of a thing. Now, where the person is not filing his return for more than 6 months, you would know that those returns are not being filed because your 2B is being populated, right? He is not filing his returns, so you would know. Therefore, it is important from your point of view, and now even this invoice matching, etc., some of these things which Mr. Inamdar told you, all that has come. So it is important for you again, these are all the parts of education of your chain below, that they have to keep on paying it in time.
In portal, it is showing in all the, till now, after 2 years also it is showing, it has been paid. I have cross-checked the GST department of the supplier.
So who has issued this notice, sir? Who has issued this notice? In center or in
our
state?
range.
Range has issued this notice?
Yes.
Please give us a copy and please also tell us what are the details.
I will submit in the office.
We'll get it examined as to what is the background and see what best can be done about it.
Yes, sir.
But on a broader point, please understand, many a times, many people say that due to retrospective cancellation, we are being asked to pay. Please understand, retrospective cancellation, we do not do in a very routine manner. It is only in these two kind of cases that normally the retrospective cancellation is resorted to. Okay?
And
so
this
it's not a routine thing.
Okay. This proposal has been sent to through FTCCI to Finance Ministry.
Yeah, fine, sir.
So I request to take up this matter.
No, there is some circular also issued.
I'll give all the papers at your office.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sir, now see the thing, there is a paucity of time. There are so many people who want to ask the questions. I will leave it at the discretion of Rizvi Sahab and Sandeep Prakash. So Rizvi Sahab has to leave. Sir, there are 2-3 questions on center. If you want to continue, address 2-3 questions. Only 2-3 questions, maybe in 5 minutes if we can wrap it up and complete. You want to take 1 second, sir. 1 second. Yeah, thank you so much. A big round of applause. Sir.
Moment.
Please take your seats. 2-3 questions for the center. We'll take your seats. 2-3 questions. Yeah. Send in writing. 2-3 questions. Yeah. No, sir, please. No, sir, please. Please. No. So this is, the question is on spinning mills. Either Mr. Nageshwar Rao or Mr. Ramesh Kakirala. Ramesh, you are there? You can talk. Nageshwar Rao, you are also there? Yeah, both of you can talk. Yeah, so you can start. Mr. Ramesh, you can talk and then you can give to Mr. Ramesh.
सब नमस्कार, हमारा नाम रमेश है, तेलंगाना जिनिवल एसोसिएशन स्टेट जनरल सेक्रेटरी हूँ साहब। और आरसीएम की वजह से क्या हो गया, 2017 में एक बार डाल दिया था, पहले बीच में निकाल दिया था, फिर बाद में डाल दिया था। हमारे लोग नया जीएसटी आने के टाइम में क्या हुआ था, पहले आरसीएम नहीं भरे, मगर सेम टाइम में जीएसटी एनुअली नेक्स्ट मंथ में पूरा सेल पे भर दिया था। वो क्या हो गया था उसको मालूम नहीं है, सेल पे भर दिया, परचेज पे नहीं भर दिया था। वो तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ तेलंगाना रेवेन्यू लॉस नहीं हो गया, मगर सब लोग नोटिस आ गया है साहब। वो तकलीफ है बहुत, तो वो इशू से थोड़ा देखना है। फिर भी ये स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री है साहब, वो इंडिया में थर्ड लार्जेस्ट कॉटन जिनी मिल्स है तेलंगाना में। वो हमारा का जो कैपिटल रहता है सब स्मॉल 5-6 करोड़ रहता है सर, उसमें से आरसीएम भरने के लिए बहुत तकलीफ हो गया, बहुत रिप्रेजेंटेशन भी दिया सब, उसका भी ध्यान रखना है। वो एग्री बेस्ड इंडस्ट्री है सब, मगर ये बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्या है सब, 2017 to 18 बिटवीन जो हो गया पहले साल में, वो रेवेन्यू लॉस नहीं हो गया, वो खाली आरसीएम नहीं भरे, सेल पे भरे साहब। वो थोड़ा हमारा लिए तेलंगाना जिन्नर के लिए थोड़ा वो ध्यान रखो, थोड़ा हमारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है सब। दैट इज, थैंक यू सर।
Thank you. Mr. Nageshwar. Mr. Nageshwar. He is representing Spinning Mill Association, sir. They have also posed the question.
Hello. Good evening, sir. I'm Mahendra Kumar, Managing Director of Surilata Spinning Mills Limited, also a member of Telangana Spinning Mills Association. Mostly this is IGST center subject, sir, actually. It is not a department subject, it is Ministry of Finance, it is there. So we want to shoot this question through your office, sir, actually. Textile industry consists of large in numbers of MSME sectors and having a potential employment of more than 45 million. Raw material are cotton and synthetics. predominantly it is a synthetic fiber only. 70% is synthetic and 30% is in cotton in nature, sir. Under GST Act, the raw material of synthetic fiber are taxable at 18%, sir. And the cotton fiber is at the rate of 5%. Whereas the finished products for both apparels, it is at 5%. This is a pure case of GST resulting in inverse duty structure, sir. And because of this problem, large accumulation of ITC, input tax credit, is taking place at spinning, weaving, and processing also. And this is bound to increase the working capital and also increase the cost of product. This yarn products become incompetent in the global market for exports. India has a great opportunity for the time being now because Bangladesh has vacated the place. Sir, further submit that import of synthetic fabric from other countries is taxable at 5%. Whereas if it is manufactured in India, all this process has to happen, sir. And refund is becoming difficult. Refund is becoming difficult, sir. This is one point, sir. And it is leading to unhealthy competition with the domestic yarn production versus the import, sir. Also, we submit that textile industry is also highly capital intensive. Because of the inverted duty structure, there is an accumulation of GST for the capital good is also taking place, sir. I'll end the question. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, you have already said that, you know, it is essentially a policy issue. If there are any details or any representation which is available, which you have made already, let us see if we can also from our side forward it. But as you would understand, it's essentially a tax rate issue which will have to go to the GST Council and they will have to take a view on it. In the meantime, please keep taking the facility of taking the refunds on inverted duty structure which is available. And if there is any delay, as you were implying, then please let us know. We will try to
It's a
expedite.
normal delay of 2 months, 3 months, sir, actually, for which
Sir,
we do not like to bring it to the...
We get a time limit of 3 months to sanction the refund. At central level, what we do is that we monitor every refund case which has gone beyond 60 days. And believe me that every month that I monitor it, I don't think I get more than 1 or 2 cases where it has gone beyond 60 days. Those also are the cases where, you know, a show cause notice has been issued or some query is there and the party itself